Hey, welcome to Still Stoked. We are going to do a bunch of yoga first thing in the morning, moving your body. You're about to go for a surf, you're stiff, your joints are all kind of like crusty and stuck. What do you do when you get up first thing in the morning to get your body moving? This is my buddy Troy. He's been a surfing buddy of mine for about 10 years, and he's also one of Manly's best yoga teachers. So thanks, Troy, for
Pleasure.
showing me what your morning mobility is.
Yeah, pleasure. So yeah, the first thing I think, if you're getting a good night's sleep, it's 8 hours. You know, most of us it's not 8 hours, and both have their pluses and minuses. Your body's stiff in the morning. That's the first thing, right? And as you know, you've said before, is if you get up and just go cold, your body's just it's just not lubricated and it doesn't have this warm up. So I do this every morning, and I'm going to take us through. It's a series of what's referred to as CARs, or controlled articular rotations. Before you even do any yoga movements, it's starting to isolate and move into the body. So I'll do it with you, and I'll speak to the camera so you guys can see what we're doing. But essentially what you want to do is, it's a term that they refer to as irradiation, but it's just locking your whole body. So if you imagine that from your neck down, for the first one we're going to work with the neck and the vertebra of the neck. If you imagine just locking your whole body like you were in, I don't know, steel or something, make fists, engage all your muscles to about 70 or 80%, and you're gonna keep your neck engaged, and I'll show you one and then you can follow along. So you're gonna bring your chin down to your chest. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna rotate to the left as much as you can. You don't want any pinching on the closed angle. So you wanna feel which way you're going. There should never be any pain. You're gonna see if you can bring your ear down towards your shoulder. Then you're gonna take your head back, and your eyes are going to trace a line up and over until you bring your ear towards your right shoulder. Your chin is going to slide down towards the center of your chest, and then we're going to go backwards. So you'll turn to the right, you bring your ear towards your shoulder. Notice I'm not letting my shoulder lift. It's not about ferocious range, it's about how much actual range do I have. Let my head go back, I trace a line with my eyes over to the left, and my chin is going to slide down. I'm going to hit the mic, and I'm going to bring my chin back to center. So the idea, the movement is, if I do it without speaking, I'll see if I can move the mic a little bit just so I don't hit it, is that I want to keep myself, everything on at about 80%. My neck is engaged 5 to 10%, because we're just waking up. You don't want to shock the system. You just want to have a little bit of resistance. And I just slide my chin to the left, ear to ear, shoulder, head drops back, and I'm making it as smooth, kind of 1 kilometer, half a mile per hour. I get to center, I turn to the right, ear to shoulder, head goes back, I come to the left, and I bring my chin down. So if you do it with me, it depends on how much time you have. The teachers who taught me this, people would say, well, how many should you do? And he said, yes. He's like, quit your job, do this all day, and your body will love you for it. Joint mobility, joint health, this is the bomb. So this is just to get the joints warm, but you'll notice your neck will get warm. So again, kneeling is what I like to do. You can sit, obviously, you can sit in a chair and do it if you want. Belly's braced, legs are strong, arms are strong, chin to chest. Now, spin to the left. And then bring your ear towards your shoulder, and let your head drop back.
I have arthritis in my neck.
Yeah, but this would be good for you. And then ear to shoulder, and then bring your chin down to the center of your chest. So now pause there. You're gonna go the opposite direction. Now brace, so your belly's drawing in, shoulders stay. Now bring your ear towards this shoulder, your head drop back. And then if there's any pinching, just go not as far, so don't go so far. And then you bring your chin towards your chest. Notice how this shoulder wants to lift. So do a couple more cycles. I'm just gonna brace you here. This is kind of just a helping.
Neck's cracking.
And sometimes you get the crumbling in the neck. We call it like joint crepitus. That's okay. You just wanna make sure there's no pain when you're pinching. Ribs in when you go back, ribs in. Good. Good, so notice how the shoulders are moving. And this will also, what the good thing about this, go one more cycle. We'll do 3. So three circles of each is a good number. And it'll take you about 15 minutes in the morning. What I like to do is I'll start to do it, and then I'll brew coffee. I like to do like an AeroPress, and that takes about 5 minutes. And so I get all of mine done in that time. Chin.
Why am I clenching my fists again?
So, cool, you can relax there. So the idea of clenching the fist is it's what's called like Sherrington's law of irradiation. And irradiation is just when you brace the body, what I want to do is I only want to move the neck. And so if you guys can see this too, when I do it and I don't think of locking everything, the mind is designed and it wants to go as far as possible. So I'm going to go as big of a circle as I can do with my neck. And that's a huge circle, right? And I'm thinking I'm doing good. But the idea is that if I make fists and I brace everything, it locks everything in place. And I call this the most pleasantly frustrating practice of my life because it just goes, how well don't my joints work? And you go, oh my God, I actually don't have that much mobility.
Yeah.
You know, this is, in ancient times, there's a lot of old school yogis that call it Paramuktanasana, and they'll do 2 hours of this every day, and that's their whole practice. And the idea is you're getting all the intrinsic muscles of the neck to work, and you're creating more finite movement. It's beautiful.
And we were talking about this the other day, and I said I did like 20 minutes of just like beautiful yin on my neck. Like, how often do you spend that much attention to your neck?
Yeah.
And in surfing, you use it so much. And it's sore.
But you also start to notice things, you know, where when I was holding you, the fist help your belly stay strong. So if my belly stays strong, when I go back, instead of you're noticing compensating skills. Like, I think I'm doing a good job, but if I go here, I go, wow, I actually have less mobility. And if I feel pain, I just come out of it a little bit. So if you're doing this at home, the idea is that you want to do, you only want to go to the level there's pain. We say, like, let's say you have a circle of movement, right? And if you're going through the movement and you get here and it's painful, you kind of bypass that movement and you keep going through the circle, or you just kind of go side to side. So that's one of the reasons why it's nice to go, you know, left over to right and then right over to left. Yeah. You could do it as circular, but if you notice those little sticky, like those owl points, you want to just go, okay, not so much, go around it and then keep going. Cool?
Ooh, yeah.
Next is the thoracic spine, so the upper back. I do kind of like an X-Men cross of the hands, and you can just do this one with me. Yep. The key here is the belly. So I'm going to round my back as much as I can. I'm going to lock my body. Fists, legs strong, so everything's on. Chin is going to stay to your chest this time. Now you're just going to twist your upper body to the left as much as you can, and then try to scrunch the left side, so lean to the left. And now don't let your belly stick out, but start to lean your upper back back. So you're actually lifting your chest up, and you're doing the same motion you just did with your head. Your chest is looking up, and you twist over to the right, you squeeze down to the right, and you end up rounding to come back to center. So if you want to watch me, So I'll go reverse. My upper back is rounded, my belly's solid. I twist, I squeeze, I lift.
Oh, did your back just crack?
Yeah, it did. It was great. And then I squeeze left side, and I come forward. And the funny thing about this stuff is that it looks like, what the hell are you doing? It's not a whole lot. But when you do it, you just, like, I'm sweating already, and you will sweat because it's holding yourself to account, and it's just good range. So holding, again, chin stays tucked. Brace your belly. I'll help you here. Mm-hmm. So just keep your hips where they are and twist to the left as much as you can. Like twist. Oh, yeah. Okay, now lean back, but just the upper chest. So ribs stay in, just your upper back. You won't go very far, chin to chest. Yeah. Now start to do the looking up with your chest. Chin stays to chest. Yeah. Yeah, so you start to realize real quickly. Wow. Squeeze, and then round your back. Keep belly on. Now let's go in reverse. No, shoulders stay away from your ears. Yeah. So notice this is good. So you see all the compensating things. Chin stays to chest. That'll help your neck. Just turn your chest towards the right. Now squeeze here. Yeah. Now keep ribs in, but lift your chest up. And like your heart is looking up, but your eyes stay down. So you're starting to slowly work that way. Yeah, good. Squeeze this side. You got it. And then pull this in. Cool. Go one more cycle. Notice how your shoulders get hiked up to your ears. Yeah. So this is the thing. This is like all these little things that compensate, right? Wow. You get to know your body a lot when you do this stuff. Do one more cycle. Twist to the left as much as you can. Keep your belly solid. Ribs in. Now lean back with your upper body. Chin stays to chest. Shoulders stay away from your ears. Good. Squeeze. Round. Cool. And then come back. So notice your hips are kind of slipping around. But this is the thing, you do this, and if you film yourself, you start to learn a lot about how your body compensates. So see how your body like went forward? Yeah. And it's still good, but a lot of things that'll happen is the neck, like the cervical spine and the lumbar spine are the most mobile. Your thoracic doesn't have much movement, which is why we do this, right?
Yeah.
Now.
So it's basically twist, kind of side crunch.
Yeah. So the movement is belly braced, X's. I'll just do one. You round your upper back. You twist to the left. You squeeze to the left. You lean back, but I don't go far because it's only my thoracic. I twist to the right. I squeeze to the right. I come down, and then I do the opposite. Twist to the right. Squeeze to the right. Lift my chest up. Turn to the left. Down, and I'm working pretty damn hard to do that. And then you relax. My belly's working because I'm bracing there.
Can you show them on the camera which part of my back we're working?
So you're working the thoracic bit here, right?
Thoracic area.
Yeah. And so if you look like, if you watch Lex's back and just like round your back, right?
Yeah.
So this is, you kind of call this the kyphotic curve. And if you can see in the camera, there's a roundedness. All of us are going to have that. You have kind of the scoop, the lordotic curve. You have a kyphotic curve. You have a lordotic curve. We're working to actually enhance this. So if you take your shoulders forward more, like squeeze your shoulders towards your chest, yeah. So you really get this stretch here, but now you got to brace this. Now if you go back bend, just your upper back. You see how you notice that her lower back wants to do it and her chin wants to lift. So keep your chin to your chest. Now pull your ribs into your belly. Now just arch through here. So isolating this is the sticky part of the spine. All of yogic back bends, we're working to release this, and this gets all those little intrinsic muscles working. So when you're paddling, it's not just dumping into your belly. Yeah. So if you pull your ribs away there, now try to keep more space there, it's hard as hell.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you're building new space.
Yeah.
Make sense?
These tiny muscles are firing so hard.
Yeah,
right
all the little guys in here. Also, you get the rhomboids, you'll get traps, you get everything that's working.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you're getting the little ones and you're not just compensating into what's big.
Yeah.
So that's a huge principle in the yoga practice anyway. So from there, I like to go into the shoulders. And the simplest way I found, you can do this with me. If you bring your hands, and I'll just face directly to the camera. So if you bring your hands right in front of you at shoulders width, you make fists. Yeah. You take your hands a little bit wider than your shoulders, and you can watch the first one. I want the relationship from wrist, elbow, and shoulder to stay the same. What I mean is the hand doesn't move independent of the arm. Only my shoulder blade is going to do the work. So I'm going to push my shoulder blades forward. I'm going to think of creating a circle. Roll them up to my ears, roll them back and down, pull them down to my waist, project them forward. And I'm just going to try to think of like pistons. And my hands are staying in line with my shoulders. They're trying to stay at about hip, just wider than my shoulders. And I'm not flaring the ribs out to try to compensate. I'm bracing my whole body, and I'm just doing a few circles. So give that a shot. Yeah. And so this is great for shoulders. My best friend has had a really bad shoulder injury, and he's been doing this, and he's found huge value. So now notice, so keep going, but this is the thing. So now just keep going, and I'm gonna keep your hands in line with your shoulders. Yeah. So don't twist the arms, pull them down more, then back, and then up, and forward, and then down, and then back, and up. Now think of it circular, elbows stay locked. Now you just keep doing that, and I'm gonna bring some awareness to your belly. So notice the belly's trying to compensate. Yeah. Yep, notice your neck is trying to compensate. So when you get the actual range, it's this beautifully frustrating, almost crappy feeling. Okay, now notice the arms are switching. Pause there, go in reverse. So lift your shoulders to your ears, roll them back, go down, straight arms, straight up, yeah. Ribs stay in, yeah, arms stay straight. Notice how the hands are moving, but this is the thing. Yeah. It's not about perfecting it, but doing the movement more often will give you a bit more precision. Yeah. Keep the arms straight. I think of it like a train. You know, you think of the old trains where it's like the choo-choo train, they have the pistons, and that's the idea. You're getting this really good movement, and what you're doing is you're getting, first thing in the morning, your body used to, okay, this is where my shoulder blades are able to go. It's gonna change when you're paddling, how you have a lot of range. Awesome. So shoulders are warm. Elbows are next. We don't think of the elbows so much, but you have pronation of the forearms and supination. So if you start with your hands, I'll face the camera again. I'll show you one.
You want supination of your front arm a lot.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about the other day. Yeah, if you. The idea, yeah, it's kind of like snowboarding, surfing. If you think of.
Snowboarding like that the whole time. Surfing.
Yeah, if you think of like hitching a ride, if you want to be able to supinate your forearm, externally rotate your shoulder, and then open up the chest, your body's gonna go where you want it. If you don't have this, a lot of people do this when they kind of try to twist open, and I'm closing myself off, and I'm fighting myself. All I gotta do is open up the thumb, and it leads a chain reaction. So this one, same thing, bracing. I'm just gonna work with the elbow joints. My palms are gonna face my shoulders. All I'm gonna do, I'm gonna straighten my arms. I want the elbow creases to stay the same direction, and then I'll do one arm at a time. So I'll straighten. I'm going to turn my palm in as much as I can. I'm not changing the position of my upper arm bone. I'm leaving it as it is. I'm going to bend my elbow. Flip my palm to face me. Straighten the arm. Flip the palm down. Don't change the arm.
It's kind of freaky when you look at it like.
It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. So if I can do it with both hands, I straighten, and I have a bit of resistance. So I'm fighting myself, like my biceps eccentrically loaded, which means it's engaged, and I'm pulling it down against itself. So I'm creating good glide, good movement. I'm rolling my hand down, pronation, and I'm pulling back against an engaged tricep. And so you can do it with me. Yeah. Everything else stays, belly, so focus on ribs. This is for everybody, not just Lex. The ribs will flare around because this is how we compensate. This is what the patterns we have, right? Palms face your shoulders. Straighten your arms. Flip your palms in. A lot of us, it's not going to be facing down, so don't expect it. Bring your hands back. Flip, extend. Yep, flip, pull back. Start to feel warm in the elbows, huh?
Yeah.
Flip, extend.
A little bit of crunching.
Yeah. Again, if it's that crepitus, you know, it's like the joints, as we get older, just your joints get crunchy. Okay, flip, come back. Now, keep the palms like this. We'll do it in reverse. So just press, flip, supination, come back. Again, flip, press, supinate, come back. Do one more. Flip, boom, then come back. Cool, then relax. So you feel that in your arms. Like, so you're getting muscular work, but you're kind of tricking yourself into it. That's what I said in the morning. You want to do that. You're resisting at about 5 to 10%. Now the wrists, and this is one of the most fascinating ones. There's so much wrist work you can do, but this is the easiest one first thing in the morning. I like to bend my elbow to 90 degrees, and you can do this with me. Let's start with the right hand. Your left hand is actually going to grab your forearm. So you don't want to twist. What we just did, the pronation and supination, you want to lock it, and you're going to take your hand. The hand's going to stay the same shape. Bring it in towards your pinky as much as you can. Think like you have a pencil on your middle finger and draw a circle. Down, out, up. So you're drawing as big a circle as you can without spinning your hand. And you want to notice if the fingers are trying to do it, I try to keep my hand like a paddle. And so I'm just going, all I want to feel is that the wrist is getting some love. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like you see it when I do this in classes, you see people looking and they're kind of going, wow, I never thought my wrist could move like this. And you kind of get frustrated, and you're going to want to go into twisting, but you want to keep your palms either going to face up, forward, or towards you. It's never going to face the sides. So do one more circle in that direction. And the next time you get in, just reverse the circles. So you go up, out, down, and in. Notice things like your shoulder's going to hike. Notice the elbow. I've seen people kind of like do this sort of thing. You can do it without the hand. I recommend the hand just because it's a guarantee you're not going to twist. If you have the stability that you can lock all this and move it independently.
My wrist is tired.
Yeah, just from a few circles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so relax that, do the other side. But immediately, again, you think of, like you said, duck diving, you know, like holding the wrist strength is huge.
Yeah.
So again, locking it, circles, down, around, up, down, around, up. And 3 is a good number for this one. So I'll go one more.
I think I just reversed them without knowing.
Yeah, that's fine. You know, like I think that the thing too is that you want to start by setting good habits, and this is why we have numbers of reps. It's like 8 reps is not a magic number, but you do a lot of 8 rep stuff because it's enough that you're going to at least have a couple reps of good movement, and that's why we do it like that. You know? So I'll go one more. Cool. Relax that. So now the hands, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders are warm. You feel hot. Like I said, I sweat a lot, so I'm already sweating. Now if you come onto your hands and knees, we get into more segmentation of the spine. Cat and cow is really popular in yoga.
My favorite morning
activity. And cat and cow and good. And if you don't know cat and cow, all it is just you're inhaling and you're arching your back as much as you can, and you're finding as much length as you can. You're exhaling and you're rounding your back, and you're seeing how much space you can have in flexion. That's really good, but you can take it a step further, and I keep talking about the little muscles in your spine, right? So if you keep your hands under your shoulders and round your back as much as you can, and let's just break it down into 5 pieces. Let's think of your spine as 5 things: tailbone, your pelvis, your low back, your mid back, and your upper back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to fight to keep my back rounded, and I'm going to tilt just my tailbone to the ceiling, and then I'm going to go pelvis, and then I'm going to go my low back, and then I'm going to go my mid back, then I'm going to go my upper back, and finally I'm going to pull my shoulders onto my back and project my heart forward. Then I'm going to hold and fight to keep this arch in my back. I'm going to tuck just my tail, just my pelvis, and this is a bitch, just my low back, then my mid back, then my upper back, and I'm working to finally get the shoulders spread. So your spine has 24 freely moving vertebrae, plus your sacrum, plus your tailbone. The idea here is you're trying to, instead of just arching your back and rounding your back, we talk to our back like it's a thing, but it's a huge multitude of things. The way the joints move is beautiful, but a lot of us don't have that segmentation. This one is crucial because you think of load bearing, right? So if I want to arch my back, or if I want to round, like if I'm tucking into a barrel, I'm going to round my back more. If I'm laying back and I want to lay back and then have that recoil, I want to have a nice even distribution of the back bend instead of just breaking at certain points. So you get disc injuries in general.
And crunching in the neck when you're like paddling, right?
Totally.
You know, it's like ow, that pain all the time.
And this is again what I see when we just do cat-cow, which is still beautiful, but you get this kind of like this, 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 this. And you still get value out of that. But this one, I feel like it's so much better. So I'm trying to move each individual spine. But if you're not used to individual spinal movement, if you break it into those 5 things, tail, sacrum, or tail, pelvis, low, mid, and upper back.
I'm going to do it this way so people can see my back.
Yeah. So I'm gonna work with you. So I want you to round your back as much as possible, okay? So what you're gonna do is leave all, like fight to hold all this and just turn your tailbone towards the ceiling. Just tailbone. Good. Now follow my fingers. Pelvis. Now try to go low back, then mid back. Keep this. Now start to get upper back arching. Now get your shoulders pulling back and then press into my hand. Instead of lifting your chin, push, push, push. Oh, yes.
My neck's gonna crack.
There. Now hold all this. Tuck your tail between your legs. Good. Now tuck the pelvis. Now keep going low back. Keep this. Yeah, it's tricky, huh? And then mid back, and then your upper back, and then let your head drop and spread your shoulders. Do that a couple more rounds. You do this a couple times, it's like you are fighting yourself and you feel the most awesome strength coming over you. Noticing where you go first, yeah. So you come into full arch. And again, I want you to keep your chin tucked, but like pull your chin in and back. This will be good for your neck. Peel this open. Hold this, again, tail goes first, then pelvis. Then try to follow my fingers. Try to do bone by 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 bone. Finally, the chin tucks in. Cool. Go one more time into an arch. So tail. Here, keep ribs in. Yep, just here. Because chin stays tucked. Chin stays tucked. Start to move. So it's like you're starting to get into more segmentation movement. You're breathing, hopefully. Then the last thing is your head. Shoulders pull back. Yeah. Cool, huh?
Yeah.
So this one is awesome, but now your spine is feeling really, really lubricated. So we'll do this. This can be done standing up, but I think since we're here, we'll do it on the knees, and this is a nice way to get your hips. So I'll do it sideways so you guys can see as well. I'm gonna start with my right leg. And I'm actually gonna bring my right foot kind of across. So I'm on my left knee, I'm on my right knee, but my right foot is in front of my left leg. I'm gonna lift my knee and try to bring it up towards my armpit, and I'm gonna bring my foot forward. Then I'm gonna take my leg out to the side. I'm gonna try not to open the hips, but just lift it up as much as I can. I'm gonna try to turn my foot to the sky. Now here the crucial bit is I need to keep my belly in. I'm gonna try to take my knee as high as possible without arching my back. And I'm gonna bring my knee to point directly backwards. I'm gonna see if I can lift it, take it out, start to scoop my foot down. And essentially I'm trying to thread my foot through and gently tap it back down to where I started. So the movement, if you're looking at it front on, what I want to do, I don't know if I can do it in balancing on one knee. This will be a challenge for me. I might just stand up. So if you're standing up, you can do it standing up as well. And what you would do standing up, same thing, you're bracing everything. You're lifting. So you have external rotation of the hip as much as you can. Hips stay locked, belly stays locked. I'm lifting up, lifting up. I'm dropping it out. I start to internally rotate as I take my knee out. I'm trying to keep the hips. Belly stays locked. I try to take my leg back and then tap the knee together. Take it back, out. I'm coming across, and I'm working through all the rotations of the hips. Having it on hands and knees makes it a lot more stable. You don't have to worry about the balance. Okay. So, yes, yep. So take your right foot and bring it through. And if this is not available, that's totally cool. You can do it simpler, where you just bring your bent knee up to your elbow, try to open your foot up, and then take your leg out. And that's just about the same. So you're gonna lift your knee towards your armpits, keep your belly. Your spine stays, yep, take your foot out. Yeah. Keep taking your foot out as far as you can. So you're internally rotating as much as you can. Knee stays bent at the same angle. Try to turn your foot to the sky. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And then try to lift your leg up without dropping your belly. Lift your leg up, lift your leg up, lift your leg up. Yeah, now bring your leg into center. Cool. So I'll guide you here. Keep the knee bent like this. Yeah. Now lift your leg up without dropping your belly. It's hard. It's nearly impossible. Take it out. Out, 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 out. Now start to sweep your leg through. Keep your hips level, belly stays as it is. And try to tap your elbows. Oh, there you go, little cracks. Good. Do it again. Forward, around. So notice your spine moving. This is what you're gonna work with. There. This is good if you guys can see this. She's arching in her back. This is extension of the hip, which most of us have horrible extension of the hip. So we think we have good extension by arching the back. If you round your back here, now keep this, but try to take your leg up. And I say the word try very sparingly, but I know you're gonna fail because most people have no extension, but you try anyway. Now, take your knee out. There, and then start to scoop it. Keep this, keep this, keep this, keep this. Yes. So you start to feel like this is gonna be really frustrating, and we're going through it really slowly, but if you get the movements, You know, it's super, super beneficial. Maybe we do another video where it's just the movements, boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
Feel it?
yeah.
Yeah. And your hips warm.
Also feel my arms.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's why when you're standing, so you know, another thing too is you can do it where you're standing against the wall. And so you just have one arm out. And you know, in your house, this can help because you're just locking your hips. And you just go lifting up, lowering, taking your knee out, rolling in, make sure the belly stays locked, tap your knees together. Cool? Yeah. Take it back, out, but notice when you take it back, your chest goes forward. Everybody does this. So you want to keep your chest up, fight to try to get back, take it out, lower your foot, lift your foot as high as you can. This will get you the full range of the hips, where on your hands and knees won't necessarily. One more time. Up, out, roll the inner knee down. So try to internally rotate, keep your belly on, try to take your leg back, fail, and then touch your knees. One more time, back, out. Awesome. Cool, let's do the other side, just so you feel like you're somewhat balanced.
Yeah.
So you want to, so I always say, you want to have the opposite hand on the wall of the leg you're doing.
Yeah. Oh, see you now.
Okay, switch sides. So again, right arm out. This is the irradiation. So your whole body's locked. Yeah. Your whole body's stuck in steel except this hip. So I'm doing my left now. You're gonna lift your foot up, high as you can. Drop your foot, take your knee out. Start to roll the inner knee down. Brace your belly. It's gonna wanna go soft. Try to take your leg back. Tap the knees together. Let's do 3 of them. Back, out.
Not back that way, but back.
No, back that way, but without leaning your body forward.
Right,
so the idea is try to go back. You won't go too far. Take it out.
Yeah.
Lower your foot. Come across. I like to just tap the toes down to the ground. It's cycle done. Rebrace everything. Go up.
My shoulder had creeped up.
Yeah. So but this is the thing. You get to know your body when you're doing this too, because you're like, oh, where am I compensating? So keeping everything else stable is really a challenge here. Coming around.
I think me remembering the rotation is really a challenge.
Yeah. Go one more time. So you're externally rotated. You lift. You drop your foot. Take it out. So you're an abduction. Internal rotation of the hip. Belly stays strong.
Yeah.
You try to get extension. You touch.
Yeah.
You go back for extension if you can. Abduct with internal rotation. Drop your foot. So you start to externally rotate, flex, lift, and you just tap down. Hips are warm, huh?
Hips are warm.
Super dope. Okay, let's come back to seated. So then we get into the knees. And one of the things with the knees we don't think of is rotation. So we talk about the knee a lot. And when you learn yoga, you talk about it as a hinge joint. It goes out and it goes in. It goes out and it goes in. But one of the crucial bits is that it has to actually have rotation. So your tibia actually rotates against your femur. When you're straight, you actually have no rotation. So you don't want to straighten your leg, but here's the way to do it. If you bend your knee, I'm going to take my right arm underneath my knee, and so I'm grabbing hold of my left knee. This holds me in one shape. What I want to do, lock my ankle, turn my shin bone out to the side as much as I can. I'm going to go to just before straight. I'm going to internally rotate. So I'm not moving the ankle. I'm rotating my shin bone and I'm coming back. Kind of like what we were doing with the elbow. So I turn, you can do it with me. So lock your ankle, turn your shin out to the right. Now straighten almost. Keep going, keep going. Pause there. Turn your shin in towards, yep, good. Now bend. Turn it out, straighten. Turn it in, bend. Go one more like that, out. Straighten, keep the ankle locked, turn the shin, bend. Now keep it internal and go straight.
Yeah.
Turn it out, bend. Turn it in. Some of you might notice that, like you've never noticed how your knee actually rotates. It's a pretty cool thing.
My knees rotating on my just ankles. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, that is. But you can see your shin bone. Try it one more time. You can see your shin bone doing
subtle.
it. It's very subtle, yeah. And then you can relax. And one thing too is so you don't get disheartened. For most people, internal rotation of the tibia is not much. It's the foot that'll do it. So if you truly lock your ankle and I go internal, it's not a whole lot, whereas external, there's quite a bit. Everybody's different. So let's just do the second side. I have my left arm underneath my knee, grabbing hold of my right knee. I'm gonna lock my ankle, rotate my shin out to the left, go towards straight, but not quite straight. Rotate my shin in towards the right, bend back down. Turn out, straighten-ish, not quite straight. Turn in, bring back down. Turn out, straighten-ish, turn in, bring back down. Now keep it turned in, straighten-ish, turn out. And I'm saying straighten-ish because if you straighten, you won't be able to rotate. Turn in, come back, turn out, bend. One more time. Turn in, straighten-ish, turn out, bend, and relax.
Sweet.
So you feel the knees are warm. Now we get
My ankles are warm.
well, we're gonna get into the ankles now too. So with the ankles, I just straighten the leg, and you can hold on to your leg if you need to, because you don't want to do as much work as you want to do a bracing work, but not more than you need to. And from here, I'm gonna use my big toe and try to draw a circle. So I'm gonna do what's called eversion and try to pull the outer foot back. I'm gonna take my foot forward, and I'm drawing a circle. So I'm just gonna explore the framework of my ankle. Now, if I'm not doing it well, I'll see my thigh bones twisting, or I'll see my whole legs twisting. I wanna lock my thigh, and I just wanna move the ankle. So my kneecap is a good reference point. Kneecap's not gonna move.
Just
So
isolating that one joint.
just isolating the ankle. And you probably get crunchiness. You know, if you're alive and you've used your feet, you probably get a bit of crunchiness. If you've snowboarded, you definitely get crunchiness.
If you smash them up like I have.
Yeah.
Crunching.
Go reverse now. So go inward first, forward, out. I'll wait till we get to the toes. That's the fun one.
Oh, I remember doing this for knee rehab, ankle rehab.
Yeah. And yeah, if you've done rehab, you know this stuff. But it's just, you can relax that.
Oh, thank God.
Rehab is always good exercise, but we only do it when we're injured.
Yeah.
So we call this sometimes like prehab.
Yeah.
And it's beneficial, but if you just, if you do it all the time, you just won't have the injuries.
Yeah.
So go outward, forward, and you're just exploring. And I said this in the neck, and I mean to say it in every joint, but you don't ever want to have any crunching. Like when you're closing the joint, you don't want to have any adverse sensation. So don't be afraid to go in a very humble range. Remember, this is your morning routine, so you don't want to feel like you're forcing it. And then go opposite direction.
It's easy to get cramp, huh?
Oh yeah, cramping will happen for sure.
I've got cramping right now.
Where you get cramping?
And
Your
the
foot.
spring ligament.
Yeah, but that's good. It's warming. You know, cramping is usually your body just kind of getting into a place that it has to get used to.
Yeah.
Cool?
Cool.
Feet. Let's do feet. This is the fun one.
Am I right in thinking it's going to be this one?
Which one?
No, the yoga pose where you sit like this.
No. We're not even doing any stretching yet. This is just mobility. So it's really simple. Lift your toes.
Yeah.
Put them back down.
Oh, yeah.
Do that 3 times. Good. Some people can't. Lift them. Put them back down. Do it again. Lift them. Cool. Put them back down. Simple enough, right? Now brace your legs. Don't change your ankles or your feet. Just lift your big toes.
I can't do it all.
Just the big toes. Just the big toes. Just the big toes. And then put them back down. Do it again. Just the big toes. Watch your hands. Put your toes back down. Do that again. Just the big toes. Then put it back down. Now, if that was easy, put it back down. Leave the big toes. Lift the other 4. And then put them back down. Lift them back up. And put them back down. Lift them back up. And put them back down. Now, this is where it gets even more fun. Lift all 10. Now, leave everything. Just push the big toe down. Yeah, good. So you're getting new mobility. Lift them back up. Wow. Do that 3 times. You want to tap, 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 and then leave the big toes up and try to just do the other 4. Tap, tap,
Oh, yeah.
tap.
I'm getting there now. A little bit more.
Yeah.
How weird.
Yeah. And then when you've done the big toes and the other toes, you lift and you try to fan. So try to like kind of piano play and just roll your toes down. So you lift up, you get pinky, ring, middle, first, boom. 3 of those. Now we've probably spent about 20, 30, 40 minutes doing this. If you get once you get the actions in, it can be as simple as, you do 3 of the neck. So just to go through, I'll just do the whole body in one round. So what you want to do is get to understand the movements, understand that you're bracing everything except the joint you're moving, and do 3 to 5 depending on how much time you have. So you brace your body, neck first, chin to chest, without moving shoulders, head turns, squeezes, goes back, over to the right, squeezes, chin drags along to the center of the chest. You go in reverse. Head goes back, nothing else moves as best you can. Chin to chest. For the upper back, you grab X arms, chin to chest, brace your belly, round your back. Twist to the left, squeeze the left side, lean back as much as you can, just the upper back, twist to the right, squeeze, round, come back to center. Same thing we do with the head. Twist to right, squeeze the side, chest lifts, twist left, squeeze, come back to center. So that you've done your neck, you've done your upper back. Shoulder circles, fists just wider than the shoulders. You're doing 3 circles where you go forward, up, back, and down without moving the ribs. back, up, forward, and down without moving the ribs. Elbows, you're doing 3, and I'm showing on 1, but you'll do both, obviously. Palms face you, you straighten, palm faces away, you bend. You do that 3 times, then you do it, palm faces away, straightens, palm faces away, you straighten, you turn it towards you, you bend. Wrists, you do, holding the wrist is a good way to start. Palm stays as it is, you do circles one direction 3 times, circles the other direction 3 times. Then you can get onto your hands and knees. You do these really strong cat and cow. Start with a rounded back. I'll do it from the side just so you can see. So from a rounded back, you work on the 5 points: tailbone, pelvis, low back, mid back, upper back, shoulders. Press the back of your head. Don't lift your chin. You hear my voice sucks. Press the back of your head. This will help your paddling. Hold the arch, tuck tail, pelvis, low back, mid back, upper back, shoulders spread. Finally, your chin comes to your chest. 3 rounds of that will get you nice and warm. Hips, if you want, you can do it on your hands and knees. If you have a wall or a stable point, again, so I have my left hand against the wall, my right arm is in a fist, I'm only moving my right leg. So I externally rotate the hip and I flex the hip as much as I can. Lower my foot, abduct, take it out to the side. My belly stays, I rotate internally, I try to take my leg behind me and I tap the knees together. I take my leg behind me, out to the side, drop my foot, come across, gently tap toes down. 3 of those on either side, beautiful for the hips. Knees, you can do it standing. We did it on the ground, so I'll show you on the ground. So I wrap my right arm underneath my right knee, grab hold onto the left knee, lock the ankle, externally rotate the shin, straighten, not quite, internally rotate, bend. 3 that side, then I keep it internally rotated, straighten, turn out, bend. Then I go into the ankles, straighten the leg. I do circles in one direction. I don't move my thigh, I leave it locked. So I do circles in one direction 3 times, circles in the other direction 3 times. With the toes, I can show you just by sitting, but you will lift, 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 so 3 times. Lift the big toe only 3 times. It's actually harder seated. Lift the other toes 3 times. Lift them all. Push the big toes only down. Press the other toes only down. And then do these kind of piano fan 3 times.
That's amazing.
You do that, but you do that 3 times each. And as I said, I do it when I'm brewing a coffee.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating now, having done that. I mean, we spent a lot of time doing it. This is an epic mobility. Once you get it dialed, it takes a while to get it dialed, but you can do it in 15 minutes. And even if you just did that, your surfing would be benefited.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed that.
I just need to make the time in my day, have it as a priority in the morning rather than just getting up and making coffee.
Yeah, but this is, and this, but
this in the morning.
This is a lot of it too, is that you want to feel that we have habits, right? So if we're going to surf the Donny, let's say the sun rises at 6, that means we'll probably be, if we want to be there at 6, what time are you going to wake up? As late as you can?
5:45.
5:45, right? So what are you going to do with that 15 minutes? Throw clothes on, put board and suit in the car, make a coffee quickly, and run out the door. So that's okay, but then you do it when you get to the beach. And I'm always a big component, so we'll do some stuff. We'll go through a video where it's just a little 5-10 minute pre-surf routine. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're surfing a beach break. If you're surfing a point break or a reef break, it's pretty mechanical. And you kind of, once you surf it a few times, you get to know how the wave works. Beach breaks, the banks are always shifting. So when you're sitting, you can be sitting there watching the waves and just going like, okay, what am I doing? I can sit there and just watch the waves, or I can sit there and watch the waves and maybe just start doing your ankles and do what feels right. Do the toes, do your knees. And so you're sitting and you're also, not only are you moving your body, but you're observing and you're noticing where there's rips. You're noticing where the banks seem to be working, where there's the waves that you want to surf.
Where are you going to surf?
And so it's like a pre-surf meditation. It's beautiful.
Cool. Thanks, Troy.
Pleasure.
So if any of you guys are joining us in this video, Troy and I had a chat before about how yoga is really good for your body for surfing, your mind for surfing, conditioning and mobility. We're going to look at doing an on-beach routine as well to warm up, and also some yin, some juicy release in your shoulders and the rest of your body and all the muscles that you use. So thanks for joining us.
Thanks.